Okay. Hello everyone, I am Ashraq Wahab from Motor Magazine. This is the first in a series of interviews that we will be holding with influential decision makers in and around the automotive industry. For this interview, we have Mr. Sheran Fernando with us. Sheran has been in the automotive industry for over 2 decades now. He's most famous for being the face of Jaguar Land Rover in Sri Lanka. Now he's working at his own company called InnoSolve, which, as the name suggests, provides innovative solutions for many things, including the future of transportation. So today we are speaking to Sheran in the capacity of his role as the head of the Ceylon Motor Traders Association, or CMTA. So Sheran, our first question to you is, now in light of the COVID pandemic, we know the government has stopped import of all vehicles for a period of time. What do you think is the impact of this stopping of imports in the medium term on the motor trade? And how can the industry mitigate any, resulting losses that will definitely come from it?
Thank you, Ashraq. Thank you for the introduction. And if I might just add that from the inception of my career in the motor trade, Nimal and Motor Trading Post has been really helpful, and it's been a real resource that we've leaned on over the years. And so I'm very glad to be interviewed by you guys, and I'm very grateful for the support that you've given me. The impact of the ban is multifolded. I mean, the first impact is that it will benefit those who have stock, and it will be a negative for those who didn't have stock, because those who have stock will be able to relinquish their stock, maybe even get a premium price for it. The next element is that we were told that the ban is for 3 months, and we are not entirely sure whether it will be for 3 months or whether it will be extended. And how the manufacturer, how imports work with the manufacturer is that we work on a 1-year plan. The 1-year plan is covered by a standby letter of credit, and you are committed to that plan. Now, in the event of something like a global pandemic, of course, plans have to change. But we are not able to tell the manufacturer, okay, send me 30 cars tomorrow. That we have to go back into the planning stage, and it will take another couple of months for us to re-engage the planning mechanism of production. So those who can bring cars immediately will be at an advantage. Also, in terms of the closure, I mean, it's been almost 2 months of being closed. Employees have to be paid, the overheads have to be met. So it is a huge cash flow strain, and those who've had the headway of having cash are at a benefit. So it's 3 areas really. And the point I'd like to make is the problem is not the ban of imports. We all understand the government had to do that. The problem is ad hoc policy. Now, if I were to draw a parallel with India implemented compulsory EU6 compliance from 1st April 2020. And this was planned for 2 years. They called the industry 2 years ago and said, we are going to do this, we have to do this because of air pollution. But the industry was given 2 years, and they worked with the government over these 2 years. So the only area that I'd like to say that could be an impact is the ad hoc nature of this import ban, and also the lifting of the ban we need to engage with the government, and we need to be talking about this, and it needs to be planned.
So what sort of impact will this ban have on the livelihoods of those who deal directly or indirectly in the motor trade? We're talking about the broader pool of people, and what avenues are there for them as a result of this?
Ashraq, just permit me to zoom out a little bit. The statistics I will quote are from Dr. Vikramasinghe Damni Korea Institute, and these are statistics that I've used in other publications as well. So there are 2.5 million self-employed people in Sri Lanka. Estimates of about 1.5 million of these people are trishaw drivers. There's 500,000 what the institute calls self-employed families. I assume these are families where the whole family is engaged in agriculture, things like that. So there's 3 million people. Do these 3 million people have an income? Probably not. I mean, definitely not their normal income. There's 4.7 million employees. So we are talking of a pool of 7.7 million people. And we are not sure what the level of income that these people have had over the last 2 months, and going forward based on cash flows and strains in the economy, what the problem will be. The Gamini Korea Institute also forecasts the costs for a family of 4 to live in terms of food being 17,600 rupees. So that's the macro problem. In terms of the automotive industry, even though there is a ban on imports, most manufacturers will have some stock. After sales service revenues will go on. So the industry as a whole will be able to manage this impact if they could have managed the 2 months, the last 2 months. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but I'm saying broadly revenues should start coming back in terms of after sales service, and things will start working again.
What are the options for these people, taking it in a very short term? What are the options for them to get back to some level of normalcy, at least to meet their costs?
Ashra, globally, I'm talking about the organized motor industry, like a distributor. The global norm is you have to manage based on the dealership should run on workshop revenue. And so car sales revenue is a bonus. I mean, if you take the average American distributor, he may even lose a bit of money on his car sales, but he catches it up on warranty and other services. So the focus in Sri Lanka should be to get the after sales side of the business up and running as quickly as possible. One should look at innovating. I mean, you can sell extended warranty, you can call people back for service packages, you can offer trade-ins, you know. So we need to be innovative and get our businesses going. Now, again, I'd just like to make mention of a level playing field. In terms of after sales revenue, duty cost is a significant factor. And to the greater extent that we can make duty paid on the import of motor spares level, the competition will be better, it will be fairer. So the issues that the organized industry have is the payment of duty, it is the compliance with statutories, it's the compliance with the tax regime. So the more we can work, and we are asking the government for mandatory registration of importers, etc., a level playing field will help this industry no end.
Which totally takes us out of the motoring industry for a while. Even though we are a motoring publication, motoring is part of lifestyle, of course, and this is therefore a lifestyle question. So let's look at after we get over this pandemic. Now we know we have to adapt to the new normal. Things are not going to be the same for at least several months to a year. So what kind of lifestyle changes do you think that people will have to make in the immediate future after the pandemic?
Sure, good question. And I think this is something all of us are trying to figure out. I mean, I think probably you and I wouldn't have done this interview the way we are today in the previous world. But if you explore, if you look into it, this is a very logical way of doing it. I mean, my home office, your home office, we've not expended carbon in traveling to a common location or to each other's location, right? So it makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of this kind of innovation will take place. In the pre-COVID-19 sense, we were at a place that was absolutely, it was a place that needed change. In terms of pollution, our air quality was bad. Colombo and Kandy consistently were getting bad air quality. Our congestion travel speeds in Colombo were 8 kilometers an hour. The estimate by Professor Amal Kumarage of the University of Moratuwa said by 2035, it would get down to 4 kilometers an hour. At 4 kilometers an hour, most people would be able to walk faster. The country spends $2.9 billion a year on fuel. okay, the fuel prices have gone down and that will go down. But these three factors need to get addressed, right? It is not sustainable. The level of pollution, congestion, and cost of fuel that we were incurring. So definitely, work from home will be something that will probably be looked at in the post-COVID world. Shared mobility is something that the whole world is embracing, and Sri Lanka should look at it. The University of Michigan has estimated that a shared mobility vehicle does the job of 9 to 32 vehicles. Right? So you're making much better use of your asset when it's a shared mobility vehicle. Research also shows that a privately owned vehicle is used 4 to 10% a day. Right? So you have the efficiency of use versus the inefficiency of use. You have the business model of Uber, Pick Me, of shared stay, So you have all of these models, and I think this is the time to bring these models into automotive. Forward, what I would like to see is an upgrade of public transport, better use of public transport, and an increase in the use of shared mobility combined with a reduction of commuting. And I think the three things together can significantly improve our quality of life.
So now, once COVID-19 has pretty much tailed off in Sri Lanka, what forms of smart mobility do you feel that we could realistically implement in our country?
Okay, Ashrak, bear with me. I'm going to get. I'm going to move into the realm of science fiction, but it's not really fiction. It could be the reality. ACES is automated, connected, electric, and shared. So today's car is going to be an ACES car. The whole world is going that way. There doesn't seem to be any question that that's the way the industry is going. An electric vehicle has 17 moving parts compared to about 40,000 moving parts in an internal combustion engine vehicle. An electric vehicle is claiming efficiencies of 95% more plus. That is 95% of the input energy gets to your driven wheel. The comparison for a internal combustion engine vehicle is around 40%, 50%. There's that statistic. Not everyone will agree, but broadly it's in the 40 to 50% range. So there's significant efficiency benefit in terms of electric. Now, if you look at Sri Lanka, renewable energy, we have an abundant resource of renewable energy, primarily solar. So it is something we could harvest, and we could save the 2.9 billion or a greater part of the 2.9 billion that I spoke about. The second thing is we are a small country. I mean, our travel distances on average is about 30 kilometers a day. The average tourist travels a maximum of 175 kilometers a day on average. Maybe one day out of his 10 days, maybe 200, 225. But so our travel distances are short. Now, these distances, even in today's context, are easily doable with electric vehicles. So we have the sun, we have the short travel distances. Now, there's another element that I'd like to bring into this. Many countries in the world depend on the traditional automotive industry for a significant component of their GDP. Sri Lanka doesn't, because we don't have an organized automotive industry. And so in that context, if we were to bring in policy that encourages the new technology of motor vehicles, it is possible and even plausible that we could be a manufacturing base for these vehicles. Because also understand the world going forward. We have our relationship with India. We have similar relationships with Bangladesh, Pakistan. I mean, our geopositioning is such that we have really good regional relationships, better than most other countries. And so to me, this is new technology that doesn't really have a manufacturing base, and I would really love to see us as that manufacturing base.
Of course, we would like to ask, do you have any final tips, suggestions that were not covered in the previous questions that you would like to share with the motoring industry and the public?
The motoring industry, I mean, I'm seeing it from the outside now. I gave up my role as MD of Jaguar Land Rover in 2017. And to my friends in the industry, having been actively engaged in other industries as a consultant over the past 2 years, I must say the motor industry is a lot more difficult to work in than most other industries. Because of uncertainty, because of the lack of a level playing field, because of ad hoc decisions, for various reasons. And so, guys, this is probably going to be the most, as I see it, the most difficult period that I have seen, because the world is disrupted. Previously, the disruption was within Sri Lanka, and those disruptions would move out. But here the issue is global. So we are not sure what the supply situation would be, how quickly that will come on stream, what the global economic situation would be. So there's a lot of uncertainty that we don't really know. And in this uncertainty, and I'm coming from this from having worked in the industry, owned a company and taken it through the years of war. I mean, in 2007, we only sold 11 vehicles. So in these periods of revenue uncertainty, the only thing you can do is just brutally squeeze your cost. Everything that is not essential has to go. Just take the biggest knife you can find and cut all the costs that you can. I experienced this. Sorry, excuse the dog in the background.
Okay, it's perfectly all right.
Brutally cut your costs. What will get you through the period is not profit but cash flow. You just have to keep money circulating. And if you have to drop profit margins to keep your cash flow going, I would do that. Low cost, high cash flow, high focus on cash flow, and one must innovate. One must look at all the areas that one can keep a cash flow going, and we talked about extended warranty, we talked about things like this. But also, if one takes this opportunity to look at where the industry is going in the future, it is going to be an industry of shared mobility. People are not wanting to own cars, people are wanting mobility solutions. And what is happening in that scenario is that the sale of cars is becoming a B2B model. And if you look at the industry costs, a lot of our costs are in B2C. It's having a nice showroom to bring the customer to, and everything that we center around, all the money we spend centered around giving the customer an experience will not be needed in a B2B model. So I think it's also a time to introspect and to look at what this industry will be and start adapting the business to be future ready.
Thank you so much for being with us once again. And let's chat again sometime. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asha. I've enjoyed that. Thank you very much.